Are you wondering about strategies for wealth that don't take decades? That's what I'll be sharing with you in this video. Hi, I'm Camille Gaines. I'm a personal finance author, and I share here what I've learned from over 30 years of investing in just about everything. Now, when it comes to investing, a lot of people feel like they're going to get rich from investing in stocks. And yes, that can happen, especially if you invest for a really, really long time frame, over several decades. But that takes a really long time. And a lot of people aren't to the point where they're saving money until they've already passed the first couple of decades of their adult life. And then they think, wow, I really, really need to build up my retirement account. So in this video, I want to share with you other strategies that are faster strategies to build wealth. This certainly isn't a get rich quick. That's not what I'm about. But these are strategies that I've either done or I know people that have done these strategies and I've seen them work really, really well. So the very first strategy that I want to tell you about is of course, and you know about this, a couple of them, it's obvious, it's sort of like duh, but when I put this information together, I thought, well, I need to say this because a lot of people build wealth this way, and it's to have a high-paying career. Now, a high-paying career, you can make a lot of money fairly quickly, but you're probably going to need to have years of education, and you're going to need to build up in the company before you are making a lot of money. Now, I will say that with startups, I think this can happen a lot faster. And so it's not necessarily a given that it's going to take decades to build up wealth to get to the point where you are in a high-paying career. And of course, that depends on what your background is coming into it, your education is coming into the career. So that's the very first method that I want to share with you. And I'll run through all these methods. I've got 9 methods here. You can sort of say, well, that wouldn't work for me because, you know, I'm past that point in my life, I'm older, or that wouldn't work for me because I don't have the capital to do that. So I'll throw these out and you can see what sticks, right? Okay, the second method that I want to mention, and I want to refer to my notes here, is to get paid large bonuses. This is a great way to build wealth, and here's why. If you get bonuses, your lifestyle has not incorporated that extra money into, you haven't incorporated that extra money into your spending every month. And so you have a set lifestyle and you fund that lifestyle and maybe hopefully you save a little bit. But when you get a bonus, you can take all that money and put it right into an investment. So bonuses are a fantastic way to build wealth. One problem with bonuses is having to pay taxes on it, and often that big bonus in that one year will knock you up into a really, really high tax bracket, and that can cause problems. But as I've said before, taxes are a pretty good problem to have. All right, the third area is to research and really understand and invest around market cycles. Now, keeping in mind that bear markets can drop up to 50% or more, and that markets often, when they turn around, are back to where they started within 2 or 3 years. Sometimes a little longer, sometimes shorter. And so imagine that if you did buy into a market, you took advantage of that cycle after it's gone down, even if you got in after it's gone down 30% or 40%, you still have a huge upside on that with a relatively short period of time. So understanding and investing around market cycles is another strategy for building wealth that does not take decades. The next fourth method I want to mention, or fourth strategy, is to simply invest in a company. And you may be an angel investor or early investor, friends and family, or you may even be a partner, or you may work a little bit in that company. I know a lot of angel investors end up having to step in and help run things and help the company succeed. So you may or may not work in that company, but that is certainly can be a great strategy to build wealth, keeping in mind that the failure rate for small businesses is extremely, extremely high. So there are some rules around diversification there that I won't go into in this video, but That is a way that people do absolutely build wealth in a fairly short amount of time. Just look at the Forbes 400, right? The fifth strategy I want to mention is that you buy a company that's existing. Perhaps it's a turnaround company, and you come in and you bring it to profitability, or maybe it's already profitable, but you see some ways that you can expand it further. And you work in that company for a little while, maybe half a decade, and then you sell that company. And it could even happen if it's a turnaround, that could happen within a couple of years, right? The next strategy that is fairly quick for building wealth is to simply buy real estate that is cheap based on or undervalued based on either the trend, the market cycle, or on some sort of anomaly, like some sort of unusual sale. This happens sometimes with, for example, an estate situation, when someone just wants to get out from under a property. So real estate, as you know, moves in cycles up and down. And so by capturing that or spotting those anomalies and buying, you can often buy a property and sell it fairly quickly after, and come and make a significant amount of wealth on that, a nice big capital gain. And of course, there's some tax strategies you can use around that as well. The seventh area that I want to mention, glance at my notes, you build your own business and you sell it. Now, I've seen people do this in the online space recently, online blogs, that type of thing, in well under 5 years, and selling businesses for in the 7 figures. So, $1 million and up. This is still an unprecedented opportunity, and building and selling your own company. The next area or wealth building strategy is to invent a product and sell it. You could patent it, and we see that all the time, right, on Shark Tank. And we see people that invent products. There's so many, right? That's how we have so many of our products. If somebody believed that they could invent a product, they did invent a product, they patented it, and they've gone on to market it well and run the company well. And then the last strategy I want to mention, strategy 9, is to create some sort of intellectual property. So packaging your knowledge or your skill set into a way that you can either sell it, probably online, or you can license it in some way. And that's the last strategy that I want to share with you. Each of these strategies require some degree of knowledge. They require an ability and a willingness to learn how to invest, many of them. And even if you do, it's not a strictly an investment strategy, you've still got to learn how to invest that money in order to keep that money and let that wealth accumulate over time. That's what I wanted to share with you, these 9 strategies to build wealth in less than a decade. And if you found this information helpful, I'd love it if you give me a thumbs up in the lower corner of the video. Feel free to leave comments and questions below the video, and subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss any of my other videos. Thanks for watching.